Hi, I'm Ron Quinton. I'm the medical director of the Goldring Center for Culinary Medicine at the Tulane School of Medicine. I've been in charge there of the medical part for about 6 years. And today I'm going to show you how to cut up a cauliflower and use all of its parts so we don't waste any food. So we're going to start with this nice head of cauliflower. The first thing we're going to do is cut it in half and then into quarters. And then I'm going to show you how to take off the leaves and the bottom. So we'll cut it in half, and then we're going to cut it in quarters. And then with each quarter, you'll have the leaves and the base, and you're just going to grab those and break them off. And we'll set this aside. We'll do that with each quarter. It usually breaks off nicely. And one more quarter. And then to get the florets, once we have it to this part, usually you can just break them apart to get the florets. And then if you have a larger chunk, we'll take that last leaf off, a larger chunk, we just take the knife and split the stem and then grab the stem and break it apart instead of having to try to pry those apart. Then we're left with, after we get those florets, we're going to use for roasting or soups or stews. Then we have the leaves and the stems left. And if you have some nice leaves, we can chiffon those and make those into a nice thing for salads or stir fry or soups. And I'll just take a couple of these off. If I have the stems, I'm just going to cut the stem off. Like so. And if I have the leaves, and sometimes you'll get a cauliflower with great big leaves, we'll just roll those up like this, and then we're going to take our knife and we're just going to roll forward through it and chiffon that. Keeping my fingers out of the way. And then you end up with this nice little pile of chiffoned cauliflower leaves. They taste just like the cauliflower florets, so they have good flavor. And you can put these in a salad, or you can stir fry them or put them in a soup, so you don't waste that. And then with the stems, we can take the stems and cut off any parts that look like they may be a little old or bad, and we'll discard those. And then we're just going to cut these up into sections, maybe a ½ inch to an inch a piece, like so. And then those stems, those are edible too, and those are good just like the regular cauliflower. And we can roast those or put those in the stir fry or in our stews and use the whole cauliflower. So that's how to cut up a cauliflower and use all of its parts. Hi, I'm Ron Quinton. I'm the medical director of the Goldring Center for Culinary Medicine at the Tulane School of Medicine. I've been at that for the last 6 years. And today we're going to look at broccoli and how to cut up and use all parts of the broccoli so we don't waste anything. So this is usually the way it comes from the store. I like these ones with the long stem on them because we're going to use that. So first off, a lot of people when they get the broccoli will say, well, I'm going to cut down through it. But we want to do that because you're going to lose little pieces of broccoli all over the place. So what we're going to do is start cutting off these florets. So I like to take a paring knife, and we're just going to take that paring knife and we're going to cut each of the outer florets off, like so, as we just keep going around. And there will be several of them here that easily come off with the paring knife. And you can see as I keep going, I get more and more. And then eventually I'm going to get down to just a core, and we're going to take the paring knife and we're going to make 4 cuts, diagonal, like a diamond, in there on each side, and it comes apart. And then that last part, rather than cutting it through so we don't get those little broccoli parts, again, I'm going to cut a knife through it, and I'm just going to peel it apart. And if that one's a little big, I'll take the knife, cut down through, and peel it apart. And that way I end up with nice sized broccoli florets to roast or saute or use in a soup. Now I'm left with the stem. That's what most people say, well, what do I do with that? It looks kind of rough and that. Well, you can do this 2 ways, and we're going to do this one with the knife. So I like to get rid of the old end and maybe the very top right here. I'm going to get rid of any of these little leaves that are left in here. And what you can do with this is lay it flat and take the knife and cut down one side, put the flat side down, take the knife, cut down the other side, keep rolling it. We're going to make this into a nice log. And now you can see I've got all the rough stuff off. I've got a nice log, and all we want to do is then dice this. So I'm going to take and cut it into several chunks. And I can make those smaller if I want, or bigger. And these then can be roasted or put in the soup or stir-fried. Has the same taste as the broccoli had. It's delicious, and we don't waste anything with those. So now we have the stem after we've taken all the florets off. And this time, the way we're going to do it is we're going to use a peeler. I have to look at the peeler. And first, I'm going to cut the two ends off that look a little bit stiff. And then we're going to take the peeler, and we're just going to peel that outer skin off of that broccoli stem, like so. And it comes off pretty easy. Even these big knobs where the branches were, we'll turn it over, get the rest of it lightly. You don't have to do much. And then again, you're left with just a nice clean stem. This time, I'm going to take and cut one side of it off, and then I'm going to cut planks. And then I'm going to take those planks and stack them, and then we're just going to cut them up into chunks. These last two, we'll cut them up into chunks. And then again, you're left with some nice broccoli stem that can be used in your soups, stews, roasted or stir fry. And you've used up all of the broccoli that came from the store without wasting anything.